So you want to captain the vampire too? Well, do you not like garlic? Do you not like the sun? And do you like blood? Wait, sorry, wrong thing. Uh, then the vampire 2 is for you. So, the history of the Vampire 2 technically doesn't exist. It's technically the vampire, but this is the more modern version of the vampire, which was constructed roughly around. The more upgraded version was constructed roughly around 1949, which is part of the daring class of destroyers that the Royal Navy of Britain gave to the Royal Australian Navy. And so basically it had a career that expanded since World War II. Officially, it was commissioned in 1933, and it basically was a cargo escort for the most part. And so it's really cool that it's in the game. It is technically weird that it's in the game twice, because it's technically the Vampire at tier 8, but they upgraded it to the Vampire 2. But regardless, I've actually been on this ship, and it's in the Australian National Maritime Museum in the harbor of Sydney. It's a glorious ship. It's very cool. Highly recommend if you have the chance to go out there to check it out. Let's just say, though, this destroyer is not meant for a 6'2" tall person, because I kept hitting my heads. I at least hit my head twice while exploring this ship. And it's a long ship, surprisingly, but I can just tell you it's very cramped. The kitchen was very small, and they had a very small medical bay, so hopefully you never had to go there. But overall, it was a very unique ship to go see in person, and I'm glad I got to do that whenever I was in Sydney. And the Australian National Maritime Museum is very, very beautiful. It's got a destroyer, it's got like a small escort ship, I guess you could say, and a submarine. Lordy, if you think I had a rough time in the Vampire, the submarine's even worse. But overall, the Vampire, it's still around today. Highly recommend you guys go check it out. But you know what? Let's talk about the Vampire 2. What are the pros and cons of this actual ship? Well, it can fire very, very fast. It's probably like one of the top end of destroyers that can fire a lot, which is very good. It's got good AP penetration, so that always helps out. Good torpedo damage, great range. The only kind of downside to this ship, at least this upgraded version, is that it's got a small health pool. It's probably one of the lower ones on the tier 10s, and it only has one torpedo rack, which kind of sucks because, yes, the torpedoes are really good, but you only got one of them, so that's the only downside. It's a little bit slow, but it's got very good concealment, so it kind of, goes against each other. You got a crawling smoke generator, which is also unique to it too, which is kind of nice. It's kind of like what the British have. So basically you can just smoke up and kind of crawl away. Once again, if you're detected by radar, it's kind of hard. It's hard to get away too because you're so slow. But if you're able to stay alive in this ship, lordy, be prepared to have plentiful damage done. It's very good. It's a very good ship overall. Not many people use it because, once again, nobody really goes down the Commonwealth or picked up the premium part of this, because it is pretty expensive with the whole 55,000 research points that you have to use because it's like a special. But I will recommend it. Is a good ship. Is it the best destroyer? No, it's not. There's easier ships like the Shimikaze, all the other Japanese and US, the gearing and that type of stuff. But it's still a very fun ship. It's very rewarding. It's got a high ceiling cap, which is always good. But once again, the hardest part about this ship is just because you only have one torpedo launcher, you kind of have to watch out about it. Granted, your torpedoes are very good. You got a fast-ish reload time. You can get it down. By default, it's 96 seconds, but you can always get that down. But once again, the worst part is you only have one rack, which The maximum damage that you can do is 19,500, which is not going to destroy everything, but it can do a lot of damage. But it's a 12-kilometer range, which is very nice to say. But with that being said, overall, this ship is very fun. I enjoy playing it here and there whenever I do get a chance to play it. The upgrades I like to have on it are the main armament modification 1, engine room protection, because lordy, this ship, I feel like it always gets busted in some way, shape, or form. Aiming systems for slot number 3, modification 1, steering, because it kind of has a crappy turn circle, not that bad, but the steering modification just helps it just that little bit more. Then up next is just to get the concealment down, and then finally my last one is main battery modification number 3, because these guns are dangerous. You are going to win most gunfights against another destroyer, so just so you know. Once again, for the consumables, you're going to use your damage control party, which everybody gets. The crawling smokes generator, you get 3 charges of that by default. It's nice. It gets you out of sticky situations, and it's got a relatively fast reload on the consumption, but it's not as fast as the British, so just kind of keep that as a heads up. You also get hydro. The hydro is okay. It's not like the most game-changing thing. It's like a standard hydro. It's not going to be a German one, but at least it can help you whenever you're close court fighting other destroyers. And then, of course, you get an engine boost, which is always a blessed thing on my lovely, lovely destroyers. Now, as far as captain skills go, I'm going to put that up right now. But as for the main part, you definitely want preventive maintenance. You want to have last stand. And then from there, adrenaline rush, because, that's always fun. Or you can go with survivability expert or superintendent. Once again, all 3 of those are very good choices for your tier 3. I highly recommend putting at least 2 of those potentially for you. And then finally, the last ones is going to be the concealment expert down there in tier 4. You can get the radio location, but it's, it's alright. I mean, that's not like a necessary. It's nice to have if you have the extra points, but usually 9 times out of 10 you want at least like more health and potentially superintendent, just depending on your playstyle and how you go through your consumables. But that, in a nutshell, is the Vampire. It's a glorious ship. If you have the chance to get the research points for it, I highly recommend you get it. And if you're in Sydney, please go check out this place. It's a gorgeous ship. It's got a lovely facility. It was basically the highlight of everything. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments section what you want to see next. Please make sure to like and subscribe for the next video. And other than that, have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye-bye.